Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana, and I am live this morning with our Casing Tuesday Challenge card. This Casing Tuesday is the day when we take a card out of a current Stampin' Up! Catalog and we give it a makeover. Today's card, I actually really love today's card, and I didn't have the die that is on this card. I'm going to show you the card real quick here. This is the card. So isn't that beautiful? It is just a beautiful lacy die, but I can't get everything out of the catalog. Even if I could afford it, I wouldn't have the time to showcase everything. So this card is just gorgeous. And I wanted to kind of create that look of those dies because they've kind of got that arch shape to them. So beautiful. You don't necessarily have to do that though. Let me clear that. You could also just do two rectangles in the place. So this is what our sketch looks like for today. So it actually has a piece coming down the center, like in the background, and then it has two smaller pieces running across the center where your arched shapes could be. So you could create a card just based on the sketch like that, or I'm going to show you how you can create those arches if you don't have a die. You probably have a punch that you could use to help you create. So I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment. So what else do I need to talk about? Oh, let me show you my card from here. So here is my card. You can see it's got lots of sparkles on it. This paper, it's called, let me grab my paper from over here. This paper is called the Parisian Blossoms Specialty Paper. And the thing that makes it special is it's got foil accents. You can see as I hold it up to the light. I've also added a little bit of, over here you can see some rhinestone jewels on there just to give it a little bit of bling as well. But I created these arches, I'm backwards here, so sometimes I created these arches this way, without the use of a die. So I will show you how to do that. And this card is super easy to make. It looks really hard, but this card is really easy to make. And the fun thing about this card is you can pop whatever greeting you want right into the center, and it's just so easy to make actually. Okay, I am going to switch my camera around now that I have a few more of you on this morning. And good morning to all of you. I hope you are doing well. We'll chat at the end, so if you have any comments for me, just put them, type them away, and I will go back and read them afterwards. Well, let's get to the card making first. Oh, and if you want to join us, we have a Facebook group for Casing Tuesday, and on this group, we all post our cards and share them with each other, and then we comment on each other's cards. So if you're stuck at home, this is a great time to join this challenge. You can join our group. Just look down below in the comments, and if you're already a member, then you know how it works. We choose a new card every week. Everyone does the same card. We all post under the same thread, so all the cards stay together. And it's just kind of a great way to kind of have a community feel about creating the same card. And the cool thing is, you know, this is my card. This is the card that was the original card. So you can just imagine by the end of the week how many different cards we have that we've given a makeover to just based on the original design. So that's a really cool thing about this group. So don't forget to join the group if you want to be a part of that. Okay, let me switch my camera here. Got my cutter in the way. So I'm using the So Sentimental Stamp Set on this card, but just if you're looking for a greeting, just look for a greeting that's kind of square-ish. Some of the other greetings from the stamp set might fit as well. This one, I can't thank you enough. You might need to switch your card like this, which is totally doable as well. You could do the card going in the opposite direction as well. So you know, whatever works for you. But look at this ribbon. I love, love, love that ribbon. Okay, let me show you how I do that little arch thing. So we're going to start off with a piece of this Parisian, oh my goodness, can't remember the name. Parisian Blossoms. I want to call it Parisian Flourish paper, but it's Parisian Blossoms paper. And this paper is a 4x4" piece, okay? And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score it in half at the 2" mark. So this is our paper trimmer. It does cutting and scoring, so that's awesome, right? So I'm just going to take this little light colored blade right here is scoring. So I'm just going to score at the 2" mark. Let me look that up. Yep, it did score. I rarely score on here. So now it's going to be hopefully easy to fold this in half along the score line. Okay, so you just want it to be exactly in half, and then you're going to take your punch, and this is the Label Me, I think it's called the Label Me Lovely punch. It's in the catalog. Also, you can find all the supplies I use for this card by clicking over to my blog. There's a link down below. So if I ever get a supply name wrong, you will find the correct supplies in my blog posts. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom to find them. So now I have this piece folded over. The folded side is towards me, and I'm going to come in with my punch. I'm going to line up the edge of the paper with the edge of the top up at the top, and then I'm going to center this piece from side to side, and when that looks centered, a little bit more to the side, and I'm going to punch it. So now I've created this piece with a hole in the center, and to create the arches, I'm going to bring this back into my cutter, line it back up on the 2" mark. I guess I could have also like just cut 2 pieces and punch part way in, but this way I'm creating the perfect centered shape. And then I'm going to cut through here, and now I've got 2 pieces that match up perfectly. And I guess you could also create a slightly longer piece, like if you wanted to make this piece like a little longer, you just stick it in a little bit further. So it just allows the reach of your punch to go a little further. All right, so now let's get our card base out, and I've chosen Pool Party. This piece started out 11 inches by 4 1/4, and then I scored in half at the 5 1/2" mark. And then I also need a piece of Whisper White. This piece this piece measures 3 inches by 5 1/2 inches. So you're just going to want to lay all these pieces down. I am going to not glue them down yet. Guess what? Sometimes I make a mistake with stamping. Sometimes I stamp something crooked. If I glue these down right away, I don't have the chance to change it out. So I'm just going to kind of lay all my pieces out how I would want them. So that looks good. I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch gap because that's what the original card was. Then I'm going to grab my greeting, and my ink is way back here. I'm just using regular black ink, but as an alternative, you could use like basic gray, like a dark gray looks nice too. So I don't know if our Memento is still on back order. If it is, if you're looking for an alternative ink, I would suggest basic gray. The basic gray ink pad will look really good on this as well. So I'm just going to stamp this right down here, right in the center. Lift that up. That looks great, doesn't it? So pretty. Okay, so now all we need to do is glue all of these pieces on here. So I'm going to take some Tombow. And I'll just glue this piece centered. I'm going to stand up because it's a little easier for me. Centered from side to side. Okay. Then I'll put these pieces back down here. I'm going to get them aligned first, and then I'll glue one at a time on here. So I just want to make sure they're roughly centered from top to bottom. Okay, that looks good. So now I'm going to take my first piece and add some tombow. The good thing about this is really you can take almost any paper and just choose colors from the paper. Like I chose the pool party from the paper, and I chose white because white is a neutral color, and it also draws the eye in. So the focal point of this card is actually the greeting. So that's the greeting in the center. That's what I want your eyes to focus on first. And then it comes around to the paper. So everything is kind of supporting the greeting as I'm putting all the pieces down. So now the next thing I want to do is add my ribbon. I already tied a little bow. Let me see which side looks better. I think this side looks better. So I'm going to take some mini glue dots, and I'm going to reach over, see if I can grab a mini glue dot and use it to stick to the back of here. Come here. And then I'll just add this right here. Now, if you want your ends of your bows just a little bit shorter, just snip them off just a little bit so they're not quite as long. And then I'm going to add, where did my little, here they are, my rhinestones. I'm going to add some rhinestones. So I'm just using my take your pick tool. I'm going to add a few of these. I'm going to use a bigger rhinestone, maybe pop it down here, and then one more smaller one, put it up there. So it just has a little bling, it just catches the eye and just kind of shimmers, shimmers. So here are the two cards I made. These are two different papers in the same collection. This one has larger blossoms, this one has smaller blossoms. But you could see if you choose any paper, this will work. Choose a color, a dominant color out of your paper and use that for the back of the card. Then use either white or vanilla for the middle of the card. And then choose another color of out of the paper if you have three colors for the ribbon, or you could also use white. I like how this petal pink kind of just blends in with the blossoms. And there you go. It's so easy. This card layout is lovely. You could also use a different punch for the center. You can experiment with a punch. But this allows you to get that nice reach going in, and it allows it to be aligned properly. If you were cutting them and then trying to do them separately, you might have a harder time with the alignment. So that is how I did those cards. So easy, right? Really, really easy today. Okay, let me come back on to you guys. So, I just have a couple of you on this morning. I hope you are all doing well. I know in the US here, and probably many other countries as well, we are staying at home a lot more. So get out your stamping supplies, make some cards, send them in the mail, cheer people up. Stay healthy, guys. I hope you're handling all this well. So make sure you're getting a little bit of exercise, drink lots of water so that you're staying hydrated. um, do things for you that help your soul. Like I've started. I don't do a lot of yoga, but I do after I go for my morning walk. I have been stretching. I've been doing this now. I actually don't know how long I've been doing it, but like for probably at least, no, it's been probably at least a year because I remember we were doing it when we were on vacation last year. So I wish I had written down when I started doing stretching, but a lot of my stretches are kind of yoga poses as well. I call it yoga light because I'm not very flexible, but I have found that I have gotten more flexible as I've been doing this, and it actually makes my body feel really good. I do it right after my walk, and it's just it's a combination of stretching, yoga, and deep breathing. So it just like really helps like settle myself and makes me feel good. So, you know, explore those options. Make sure you have some tools in your toolbox to help yourself feel good, stay healthy during this time. And I just wish you guys all well. I will be back later this week with another tutorial for you. So please stay tuned for that. And join us over on Casing Tuesday and share your cards with us. I do also want to note today is the last day of celebration. It is March 31st. Oh, and I'll just show you one thing. This punch I used today has a matching celebration stamp set that came out just for March. It's called Tags and Bloom. It's a level 2 set, and you need to spend $100 if you want to choose this stamp set. It's really beautiful. I've done some cards with it. I think I even did a Casing Tuesday card with it. It's just a really gorgeous stamp set. So if you want this to match your punch, the punch is a product you can purchase. This is one that you can earn. All right, guys, have a great week, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.